Hello and welcome to Leadership for Women, Getting Respect Without Acting Like a Man. This is one of the things that I get a lot of comments on my TikToks. Aren't I going to act like a man if I show assertiveness or try to be strong in my communications? And I want to address that because I think it's an important question and it's an important concern. So let's go. I want to give you a little bit about my background before we get started.
I am Sue Reynolds with Carmine Media. I have a degree in organizational leadership. I'm also a certified executive coach, and I've spent the past 20 years in marketing, both in the corporate and nonprofit sector, mostly in leadership positions. I manage a team of social media and content marketers currently for a major corporation. And at Carmine Media, I provide those same services for both leadership skill training as well as social media management to small businesses and nonprofits. I'm also a speaker and trainer on those topics, and I'm looking forward to sharing what I've learned with you over those past 20 years in this and all the other seminars. So let's go.
The first thing that I get asked very often in some of my videos and my content marketing is, well, if I act assertive, aren't I acting like a man? And I want to address that because I think it's an important issue. And the key word here is acting. You need to be yourself while still being confident, eliminating that body language and speech that make you sound like a pushover. Resist going the other extreme too and being overly aggressive to fit in, especially if you're in a room full of men in a male-dominated industry. Being different from men isn't something you need to hide or try to change. I want you to be your authentic self. We hear so much about authenticity right now, but it's really important. If you're pretending, people are going to be able to tell and they'll lose trust in you. Instead, I want you to work on being more assertive in both your written and your spoken communications. So let's get that out of the way right now. No, you're not acting like a man. Instead, you are being yourself, your most assertive self. So I want you to set clear boundaries while you're doing this. If you're being disrespected at work, set those boundaries early. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And if you're in a male-dominated industry like construction, tech, engineering, some of the other ones that I've heard from, you might get the occasional sexist remark. It's true, you might hear it. How you handle those remarks early sets the tone for your future. Let them know that you'll let it go the first time. Hey, I'll let it go this time, but the next time they're in for it. But say that in a friendly way without coming across angry, but you can still mean it.
That clip that you just saw is from the Seattle Pike Place Fish Market, and I shared it with you because it turned out to be the philosophy of one of the resource books that I recommend. This is Fish by Stephen London, and this is a philosophy of work that can take any job, no matter how slimy or cold or freezing cold it is, and turn it into a fun workplace. So what you can imagine started as a slimy cold job there at the fish market turned into something that people come from all over the place to see because they're throwing the fish at each other and at their customers. And the philosophy that comes out of that is that you can take any workplace and turn it into something fun if you use your sense of humor and your abilities. And that's how that translates into, instead of trying to act like one of the guys, use your own humor to make your workplace fun and to make other people build relationships with you. So I recommend that you read that book and check out any of the videos on the website that they have. It's a great resource.
This is a big one. I want you to stop apologizing and use that apology only when you are actually sorry. Stop apologizing for your presence, for stating your opinion, or for disagreeing with someone. You don't need to apologize if you don't want to do something either, and you don't need to explain why, unless, of course, it's your boss asking you. In that case, if your boss asks you to do something and you're already buried, that's when you ask for help in prioritizing. Sure, I can do that. What other tasks would you like me to put aside so that I can work on that for you? But please stop apologizing for bothering people or for having an opinion in a meeting. Those are the kinds of behaviors that make you look like a pushover. Speaking of that confident body language, I want you to check out this slide and take a look at the body language I'm showing in it. I'm standing up straight, and take a look at my hands. I've got my right hand over my left. This is called the confidence stance, and it really makes you feel more confident and you look confident while you're standing there. Even if maybe you're faking it a little bit, that's okay. Just project that confidence that you know is inside you and that you need to project so that people don't treat you like a pushover. Before we go, I want to thank you for joining me. And I also want to point out that I have a 5-part series on leadership for women. You can check that out on my website. It's a really good series. It's 5 parts on everything from your confidence stance, like I showed you, your communications, written and verbal, how to handle negativity, how to present yourself in video. There's a lot of good stuff on there, and I hope that you will check it out. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for joining me on Getting Respect Without Acting Like a Man. Like I said, that's a question that I get a lot on my videos, and I'm glad that you were here to share my thoughts on it with you. I'm putting together lots of tips and tricks on this subject and lots of others in leadership for women. So follow my social media platforms, join me on my emails. I can't wait to see what you do with your leadership journey, and let's get started. Thank you.
As always, I want you to remember to connect with me on my other platforms too, so that we can stay in touch and continue this conversation on leadership. So here's all my contact information. I've got my website. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and tweet at me there your thoughts. 2 Facebook pages, both my Carmine Media and my Off Duty Traveler page, as well as, of course, my TikTok and my Instagram pages are both Carmine Media and Off Duty Traveler too. So you can follow my excursions around when we get back to traveling. I'm on LinkedIn, and you can, of course, always email me with any questions that you have. I really want to stay in touch with you and keep this conversation going.